Good morning, everyone. Good morning. He knows I'm a cry baby. If I get up and say hi, I'm gonna cry. So just look over me. But today, first of all, I'd like to thank the pastors for this opportunity. I'd like to thank Sister Catherine because she got up and spoke one time about fear, and that's what I've been fighting with. Right. And it helped encourage me. But most of all, I'd like to thank God. Yeah. And I want to speak today on forgive and forgiveness. Yes. And I looked in the dictionary and it came up that forgive is not to have hard feelings toward someone or wish harm to someone that has done wrong toward us. Yeah. An unforgiving spirit is one of the most serious of sins, and I found that in Matthew 18:34-35. Yeah. And then I wrote, forgiveness is one of our forgiveness is for our growth. When people do us wrong in life, maybe even as a child, and we say we'll never forgive them. That's something we're holding in our hearts that causes us problems when dealing with issues at hand. The ones that did us wrong are continuing life without a care in the world, and makes us wonder if they realize what they've done to us over the years. But we have a work to do for God. We can't do this, we cannot do His will because we can't or haven't truly forgive or let go. Right. The most important thing is, have we forgiven ourselves for our wrongdoings or even our wrong thoughts? Yeah. If God can and does forgive us, why can't we forgive people? Right. I'm sure that we've done more against God than people has done against us. Yeah. Forgiving does not mean that we have to be best friends. You know, we don't have to be with that person every day. We don't even have to call that person every day. But we must forgive. And you must forgive in order to effectively do what God has called you to do. It may be to witness or even to help the person that has done you wrong. But then we'll be like, oh, he'll be all right, or this and that, you know. Oh, I'm not going to tell him this. He might be finna get ready to get hit by a car. That little voice say, tell him to watch, tell him to do this. Oh, no, whatever happens, you know. But that's because we haven't forgiven. Right. You know, God's forgiveness is conditional upon man's forgiveness of the wrong done to him. I found that in Matthew 5:23, 24, and 6 and 12. Yeah. Luke 23:34 says, well, look what God did. Look what they did to Jesus. And he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. What about us? I find myself, you know, at my apartment building and everything, and people say things, and sometimes I say, Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Because we are God's people. We are a priesthood, as my pastor said. We are from the royal priesthood. People don't realize what they do to us. But we have to ask God to forgive them. We have to forgive them. And most of all, we have to forgive ourselves to do what God has called us to do. Amen.
One thing about forgiveness, though, the power of forgiveness is releasing you from holding on to things. That's right. Amen. Giving something or somebody power over you. Amen. That's right. When you forgive, you let that thing is off of you. A lot of times we hold bitterness and unforgiveness, and when people holding power, they don't realize that they got that kind of power. Right. Yeah. And it stops you and hinders you from doing what you should be doing. Amen. Right. Amen. Praise the Lord. Turn your Bibles to Exodus 19. Amen. Exodus 19. We're still dealing with the book of the covenant, the book of the law, the new covenant. Amen. What we're going to do today, I'm not going to be with you long today because we want to go see what God is doing. Amen. But we're still dealing with Melchizedek and the kingdom of priests. We didn't know it was so much in there about Melchizedek. Because it's only in a couple of different places that we see him. We see him in Genesis 14. We see him the actual person. And then we see him mentioned again in Psalms 110. And then we see it again in Hebrews, where it's mentioned about Melchizedek and the priesthood. And then we heard different sermons and different people, they tell us that Melchizedek was Jesus Christ incarnated. And I set out to say that that can't be true. Because Abraham gave him a tenth of all. If Abraham gave him a tenth of all, what would Jesus incarnate, what would the pre-incarnate Christ need with a tenth of livestock? Abraham was a rich man. He had just won a battle. He gave him a tenth of the spoils of the battle. What would Christ incarnate need with all that spoil? Are y'all hearing me? So that can't be. Again, they say he was an angel. What would he need? What would an angel need with all of that livestock? They're not going to need it. They're not going to take it back to heaven. Are y'all with me? So we went down and we showed who he was as a person, but also what we're talking about the priesthood. But we find out that God had made a covenant with Abraham. So you might want to write this down as a homework assignment. As a homework assignment to read Genesis chapter 12 and Genesis chapter 15. And then read Genesis chapter 17. If you get a chance to read that, we're in school, y'all. I'm going to give you a board up here and say homework for next week. But read those and you'll see where God calls Abraham out. He calls him out, Abram. He calls him out in chapter 12. In chapter 15, Abram asks for a sign. Because God said he's going to bless his seed. And Abraham says to him, wait a minute, I'm an old man. And the man that's in my house, he's the only one, he's like a servant, he's my servant. Anybody in my house, when they had children, he has a child, is that going to be my inheritance through him? Because I own him, he's mine. That's me. You hear what I'm saying? God said, no, I'm going to bless you. It's going to come out of your bowels. So then it came back in chapter 17, it goes on to talk about circumcision. So we established last week that there's a book of the covenant. So God made a covenant with Abraham. They that blessed you will be blessed. They that curse you will be cursed. And he tells them all of these different things. And I want you, the next time you're ready to speak, I want you to prepare something about the blessing of Abraham. You brought it up, so I want you to prepare. So the covenant, the book of the covenant, the book of the law. So we didn't know that there was a book of the covenant. We didn't know that there was a separate book of the law. And then Jesus said, this is the blood of mine of the New Testament. Are y'all hearing me? The new covenant. So what does that entail? So the book of the covenant, what is that? And we get ready to see that today, even though last week we went over it a little bit, but we're going to see it again today, and we're going to go a little bit deeper. Because sometimes when we read our Bible, we read it and we don't necessarily fully see what we're reading. Are you hearing me? Because to us, it's just the Ten Commandments. To us, it's just something that happened on the cross. And he said, Father, forgive them. To us, we don't realize that he's operating as Melchizedek in the high priest role when he says, forgive them, because he is the blood atonement. Right. He's making blood atonement for the people. Are y'all hearing me? So we just read and all that. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we get the knowledge in us, but now it's time to get an understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing. Get wisdom, but in all that getting, get what? Get an understanding. So when we begin to get an understanding of the word, now the word just jumps off the page at us. We know what we're looking at. Because we hear today that, oh, we're not bound by the law. Y'all heard that? So what that does for us sometimes with people in the church, now remember, I'm trying to get us to stop thinking like church folk and start thinking like priests. Are you hearing me? Because God called us into a priesthood. And so we looking at, God called me to go to church. Listen, I beg to differ. God called us to be priests. And I'm going to show you that in the Bible. I'm going to show you that in Exodus chapter 19. I'm going to show you that. But the point is that God called us to be priests, and we just got to stop thinking of ourselves just as being churchy. Right. And too many of us are churchy, and not enough of us are priests. Not enough of us are ambassadors. Yeah. So we understand that when Moses first gave the covenant, when he first read the book of the covenant, there was no Levitical priesthood. Uh-oh. There was no Levi priesthood.
Right.
Because the priest was supposed to be the whole nation of Israel. They were all supposed to be priests. They were supposed to be the examples. Then they broke the book of the covenant, and now you have the establishment of the Levitical priesthood through Aaron. So the ark is called the ark of what? The covenant. But the book of the law is put into the side of, okay. So the ark of the covenant. So let's look here at chapter 19. And let's start at let's go ahead and start at verse 1. Exodus 19, I'm sorry. So God made a covenant, and here's what we get ready to see. God made a covenant with Abraham, but it's not spelled out in Genesis. And here we get ready to see 430 years later, God spells the covenant out to Moses. But this is the covenant he made with Abraham. And Moses is getting ready to spell out the covenant. Are y'all with me? So with that being said, let's look at here. In the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, so 3 months later, when they go forth, or the third month, I should say the third month, the same day came they into the wilderness, because this is not 3 months later, I'm sorry. But they came out in the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim, and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. So they came out, and remember now, this was an 11-day journey from Egypt to Israel. But it took them over 40 years to get there. There's a reason for that. Go to the next one. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, now listen to this, this is where our key is. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my what? Covenant. Remember, a covenant is an agreement. A covenant is an agreement. When the law came, they didn't agree upon the law. It was imposed on them. But with the covenant, there was an agreement. And when you have a covenant, there has to be a proposal. Remember the 4 things that need to be? A proposal, an acceptance, blood ratification, and then there's a meal. Okay? So he says, therefore, here's your proposal. He said, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure. Remember what Peter said, you are a peculiar people, a holy nation, a royal priesthood. You shall be a peculiar people, a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Look at the next one. Now look at this. And you shall be unto me what? A kingdom of priests. He's talking to the whole nation. Are you hearing me? Now Moses is not reading yet. Moses is telling the people, God tell Moses to tell the people this. Moses tells the people, a holy nation. You're a kingdom of priests. He's letting them know right then, you are supposed to be after the order of Melchizedek right then. There was no Levitical priesthood. There was no Levi priesthood. There was no Aaronic. Aaron was there, but it was not the Aaronic priesthood at this point. Now, I do believe Aaron was going to be the head of this, but the point is that it was not established yet. So Moses is talking to the people. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto, the words that thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Okay, so let me go back here. So in the covenant, go back to the PowerPoint. So, the next one. Covenant means there's a treaty, a compact, an agreement between two parties. It's a solemn or serious binding agreement between two parties, and it entails a variety of responsibilities, benefits, and penalties. It is accompanied by signs, witnesses, memorials, shared meals, sacrifices, solemn binding oaths, sealing the relationship with the promises of blessing for keeping the covenant, and curses for breaking the covenant. One thing about the covenant that we're going to see in this covenant is that there's no sin offering and there's no trespass offering in the covenant. Are you hearing me? The covenant is God's divine will. Go to the next one, James. The covenant is God's divine will. The law is God's permissive will. Remember that. Because when God gave the law, before he gave the law, they broke this covenant, and what was God going to do with the people? They was going to kill them. He was going to cut them off. And he told Moses, Moses, I'm getting ready to kill these stiff-necked folk. Not even 40 days later, they break this covenant, and I'm getting ready to kill them, and I'm going to start over with you. And Moses had to mediate. Moses had to stand between God and the people and tell God, listen, God, if you kill these people, the world is going to say that you brought them out of Egypt just to kill them. And God repented. Now listen at this right here. What does repent mean? We think repent is all about just asking for forgiveness. Why would God need to ask for forgiveness? Y'all hear me? See, anybody ever read that and say, God repented? You ever had that question come to you? Like, God repented? When God repented, that means he changed his mind. He changed the way he thought about that and said, I'm not going to do it. Because Moses mediated. So in order to have a covenant, there has to be a proposal. There has to be acceptance, a blood ratification, and a covenant meal. Next one. Now, when we get there, listen to what the people said in verse 7. 19 verse 7. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which the Lord commanded him. And all the people answered, verse 8, all the people answered together and said, what?
All that the Lord has spoken.
They accepted the covenant before it was read. Are y'all with me? They accepted the covenant before it was read and said, all that the Lord say, we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord. In other words, he went back to God and said, they accept. Are y'all with me? But then, now we're going to look at the covenant. Now let's go to verse, let's go to the next one. Next slide. So you got the proposal, you got the acceptance so far. Moses goes into the mountain. Go to the next one, James. Go to the Ten Commandments. And here's the covenant. Here's God's divine law. Now remember, they tell us in the church we're not bound by the law. But what the truth, that's a half truth, because the truth of the matter is we're not bound by the Levitical law. We're not bound by the book of the law. But God's divine law is still in effect. Are y'all hearing me? His divine law, if we go to Exodus 20, verse 2, and we go ahead and bring your Bible out to Exodus 20, verse 2. Keep that PowerPoint up, James. I'll read it. All right. So Exodus 20, God began to tell Moses to write. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of Egypt, out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Now let's look at this. Here's God's divine covenant, his divine law. Here's the covenant that he had with Abraham that Moses is revealing to the people or to us. So when we read to Abraham, we're like, well, what is the covenant? What is it really saying? Here it is. He said, you shall not have, see, he called Abraham out of idolatry. Abraham was in the land of idolatry. And he called him, he said, come out from amongst your people. Are y'all hearing me? I'm going to make you a great nation. And he made a covenant with him, but here it is. He said, you shall not have no other God. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That still rings true today. We're not supposed to have no other gods. It's only one God.
That's right.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
In the Bible, his name is Yahweh. Yahweh. You say it the way, Yahweh or Yahweh. His name is Yahweh. Jehovah is a rendition of Yahweh. Are y'all with me? Thou shalt have no other God before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any, that word graven means carved, image. Thou shalt not make any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Do y'all understand that? We're not supposed to make any images of God.